10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All systems go.
You're listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by.
On the morning shift.
Anything
Could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh. Glad to be here with you. Thankful that you're here with us on this Wednesday, July the 23rd, 2025. It's going to be a great show, I promise, or your money back. Just trying to get this I got an on-air sign courtesy of Nancy, and I finally have been able to get it put up in the only place that can be shown in the screen in the picture. And so I went to the hardware store and got a couple little pieces of hardware yesterday to be able to install that. And as small as it is, it's in there, and it's in the only particular place I could put it. So thanks, Nancy, for that. And good morning to all. We're live on CKLU 96.7 FM on the radio. We're also streaming live at cklu.ca online. Just click on the Radio Player Canada app if you want to stream us. To take us with you and listen to us anywhere, you download the app and you can have it on your device anytime, anywhere. We're also streaming live at facebook.com/Sudbury News, youtube.com/Sudbury News, live and then after on demand on those two platforms as well as x.com/Sudbury News and Sudbury.news, which is our website, is our news aggregator, aggregating all the local news organizations' stories into one webpage, making it possible for us to just get the news at a glance. And as we're not able to share any news on Facebook in Canada, can't share national news, international news, local news, all because of a government policy making it impossible to share news on the world's most largely used social media platform. So that's our answer to that, and that's our service to the community. And today we're going to have a special show. We have Tom Price and Bob Johnston ready to come on. They've been on about, I think, about 5 times so far. And it's always a great conversation. Hopefully we'll shed some more light into maybe some of the financial decisions that the city's making, some decisions that the city is making in terms of our most vulnerable population. So it's always a really great conversation. So make sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow the social media pages, but mainly comment. We'll do our best to get your comments up on the screen today. And I'm going to do my best to see if there are any questions for Tom or for Bob up on the screen. I want to ask them. So I haven't done that great of a job doing that in any of our previous conversations. So we'll do our best to do that. We'll be back with Bob and Tom right after the weather. Stay tuned. And Sudbury weather brought to you by sudburyweather.ca. Currently it is 15 degrees. There is some light rain, I guess. And today we can expect a mix of sun and cloud with a 30% chance of showers late this morning and afternoon. The wind will be gusting up to 40 kilometers per hour. High of 26. Humidex, though, will feel like 31 tonight. Partly cloudy with a 70% chance of showers or thunderstorms. And a low of 19. And Thursday, looking like a 60% chance of showers or thunderstorms. High of 26, 25, 40% chance of showers on Friday. It's kind of looking like a possibly wet few days here, at least with a chance of precipitation. And then Saturday, 30% chance of showers with a high of 27. Sunday, 28, 30% chance of showers. Monday, cloudy, 40% chance of showers on Tuesday. So there's a lot of days with a chance of showers, but most of them are under 50%, which means there's more chance that there's not going to be showers. Just to shed a little positive spin on the weather. That is your Sudbury weather, brought to you by SudburyWeather.ca. We'll be back with Bob Johnson, Tom Price, your comments, and more right after this. And it's always a great conversation with you all when you're on. And so I'd like to welcome you again to Sudbury News Talk, which is Sudbury's conversation about social issues that people find important who live in Greater Sudbury. And it is indeed a conversation. And that's what we like to have here, and just kind of make sense of sometimes a rather confusing world. Seems to be getting more confusing by the day. But as we just kind of discuss things, maybe it'll get a little less confusing. So good morning, Bob. How are you doing?
Great. You?
Not bad. I'm up. I'm here. We started a little bit late as usual. We're getting off to, might as well say we do our show from like 7:40 to 8:30 every morning, because that seems to be what happens. But it is what it is. I'm a one-man operation here. I can't put too much pressure on myself. Anything new? Anything new with you?
Just laughing over that failure on the homelessness report card, 1 out of 7. Boy, did they ever put a lot of sugar on that. Number one, the only thing where they succeeded was the nine people getting lowered down off the list. Well, my concern is, where did those 9 people go? Have they passed away? Have they moved on? The questions are there. So to me, that's a failure too. Now, more sugarcoating in that conversation was the core of emergency housing. There is no, that's a new program with no funding, which hasn't started, and they don't know when it will be started due to the funding, what they don't have. Okay. There again now, in these subsidized housings, what they have now, you can go, anybody can apply for it, number one. Number two, it can be from somebody living in Rumball Terrace can get wanting to be rotated over to, what's the name of it, Lorraine Street. So where does the homeless fit in on all this fancy talking with the fancy shoes?
Yeah,
that's
and what you're referring to is something called deep core affordability, right? It's for the most vulnerable of the vulnerable in terms of affordability. It's basically like affordable for the average person. That's affordability, but affordable for those that, might be on assistance or whatever. That's the kind of affordability we're talking about here with deep core. It was the first time I heard that term, but apparently, thanks to ChatGPT, it is a term that's used, and it's one for our most vulnerable population. But what you're saying is that they are kind of announcing that they're going to have this, but the funding isn't even in yet. Is that what you're alluding to?
That is correct. So the program can't start until there's funding. So why are they bringing up everybody's hope for nothing? Like, when can we turn around and be honest? At least it's something. The arena costs are not true. The homeless story is not true. The only thing that is true is they spread the addictions across the greater city of Sudbury. They're in everybody's backyard, and we don't know who's dying because the Narcan kits aren't around like they used to be.
And so you find, because I remember back in, I don't know, a few years ago, they were giving them out to everybody and training people and things like that. So you're saying that they don't have that program anymore, or they're not giving them out anymore?
They have the program, but try and find the people.
Oh, I see.
You
the
see,
volunteers?
they're in the bush, all of them. Like Medina Lane in the front of the soup kitchen, they cleaned all that out. Where are they? Couple on 199 Larch Street in the cubbyhole there, but other than that, they're spread out everywhere. I've been getting complaints from people, and I mean, I'm a nobody really, but I've been getting complaints from the customers up at the Four Corners and the malls um, Caswell Drive. They're hiding in the garage there, and so on and so on. So now what's going to happen is it's going to get out of control, and their bylaw and their security has no clue where they are. All they said was get out. Energy Court, we have 6 tents in there. 6 tents. And we just gave them $400,000 to run that program there, the cooling center, for a couple of months.
And what's the reason why there's only that many tents in Energy Court? Because I thought that's where the plan was, to have a lot of people that were experiencing homelessness.
Well, number one, it's very dirty. Okay. Number two, it's not friendly. And that's one of the main goals. I'll tell you one thing right now. There's a 69-year-old disabled lady in one of those tents who was released from the hospital with nowhere to go. So I don't know. Like, I don't know what the solution is. I am working on that program, what I made up, the story of your shoes. And I go out now. I got a couple volunteers, and we ask the questions. You know, why are you where you are? What do you want to see? How can we help you? And so on and so on. And we're going to get to the core of the problem instead of just stating, you know, we have this in place, we have that in place, but, you know, here's a granola bar. Well, what actually is the core of the problem?
Yeah, and along with that too, those are super important questions and much needed. Also, where are you from originally? What brought you here? I think that's part of their story. Like, what brought you to where you're at now? Like, where are you originally from, right? Because I think there's this idea that people actually will come to the city for services from all over the place, and a good portion of the people aren't originally from Greater Sudbury kind of thing. So it's really important to do that. And then what are you going to do with these particular findings that you have? Are you logging them? Are you going to create a report afterwards and, you know, kind of make public your findings?
Yes, I am. And the first one who's going to get my report is going to be, I don't know if you know him, AJ Welsh from Sudbury News.
Okay. So I'm going to be the first one to get. Okay. Well, that's great. I look forward to that. And that's so awesome, because what this is a platform to basically just speak to the city and meaning the citizens of the city, and have citizens speak back kind of thing. It's a two-way conversation. And I think that's a really, it's really great that you'll find these things out and then kind of bring them to the people through this platform kind of thing. So I appreciate that. And how far are you into this? Have you already started talking to people about these questions?
Yes, we've talked about, I guess it's about 16 people so far. And it's very interesting. And what I get out of it is they're very lonely. Okay, and they do want to speak to people. And I'd say out of the 16, 15 want help.
Really?
But,
okay.
Yes. Now, back in 2020, when COVID first started, I was out on the street, and I had 85% of the people out on the streets wanting housing, and I couldn't get any. You know, and right now it's basically the same, because if you can get it, like for example, Zulich's apartments, 1 bedroom goes for $1,650. There's 72 new units opening September 1st at Waterview Apartments. 1 bedroom's going for $1,850. And that's another thing in the homeless report. They said a 1 bedroom goes for $1,300. Well, let me know where, because I got people who'll be glad to grab it.
Yeah, that was interesting too, because, you know, I used to have a property management company. I have a friend who runs a property management company, and I'm pretty aware of the prices for apartments in the city. And you are right. The apartments the prices for a 1 bedroom are not $1,300 and such. They are upwards over $1,500 at least. You know what I mean? And between 15 and $2,000.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, who can afford that? And I mean, you could put all the housing in the world. You know, you could build a 500 unit But if you're going to be charging $2,000 a month, who's coming in? Nobody.
Now, the thing with this deep core affordability that they're going to be receiving funding for, hopefully in the future, then they have some sort of a solution, right, to subsidize people's apartments to some degree. So if you're on OW or other social services, then you will only pay so much and you'll be subsidized the rest.
It's already subsidized Sudbury housing.
Yeah, I guess they only do it so much now, and then they're going to go for even a more subsidization with this deep core affordability.
My worries, I'm going to tell you honestly right now, is it's all talk, okay? I haven't seen any action for the homeless in 15 years. You know, like, I was amazed. I called a couple of people. I said, this was 2 weeks ago. I said, holy geez, I'm downtown. They got 4 washrooms, porta potties put up in front of the YMCA. Don't tell me that the housing is going to, or the homeless is going to get the bathrooms finally. And sure enough, it was for the Pride Parade.
Oh, interesting.
And then I said, well, they're still there. Maybe they're going to keep them. But no, that was for the Blueberry Festival.
I know in other countries, they have public washrooms, more available in urban centers, right? Like they just have, you just walk into, like you would at a campsite almost, and they have the running water and sinks and urinals and toilets and whatever, and for the public to use. And I've always been kind of baffled why we don't have that type of thing here, or even in Northern Ontario, not just Sudbury, but I had a restaurant downtown, and the public would come in and just use my restrooms. And as a business owner, sure, you think, well, the business owner should just open their washrooms up to the public, but a lot of times they get abused. And I oftentimes find really, after somebody came out of there, some really interesting things were, smeared all over the walls. What's that?
That in your stock down, people taking the tissue paper and so on and so on.
Exactly. And so business owners shouldn't be expected to offer their restrooms out to anyone other than their patrons. And that's just normal. And I had people giving me a hard time saying, hey, this is a public washroom. Then they would ask for a water from the tap, and then say, well, I'm a customer now, I get to use your washroom, kind of thing, stuff like that. And I feel bad as a business owner, because this is something that, I want to be able to help. I don't want to be the bad guy, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you have to have a policy for certain reasons. And so it's not the business owner's responsibility to offer the restrooms, as a lot of people might think. Why don't they just offer their restrooms? And there's a reason for that. And like you said, so I'm just baffled why we don't have a public washroom. And there's people who work for the city that could easily be in charge of cleaning and maintaining the washrooms. They could be, certain security and things like that for them. And it would help everyone, not just people experiencing homelessness, but people who are stuck downtown and they're doing something and they don't want to go into a restaurant and buy something in order to use the restroom. They could just go use the public restroom. Anyways, it's just something that's always been on my mind, is why we couldn't have a solution like that.
Well, that's because that's thinking outside the box. And I don't know who's actually thinking when they do different things.
Now these, go ahead. I just want to talk about these 7 things that the city kind of give themselves a report, which I thought was really great that they actually came out publicly. You got to say that was a neat thing that they did. They actually came out and said, okay, we're giving ourselves a grade here and we're failing on all 7 things except for one. And the one was kind of questionable, where they have this new list where they're trying to get everybody kind of recorded who is experiencing homelessness, and so that way they can possibly use the list to serve them better. But the list kind of lowered in terms of 9 people from the previous year. So that was the only thing they said was a positive thing. But what were these 7 things? What were the 7 things that they covered? And is this a thing that, are these the main 7 things that are always looked at in terms of a vulnerable population for a municipality?
No, they go with the flow. Like I said, I'm out on the streets every day. Okay, there's a lot of organizations out there who has no clue where the people are, and so on and so on. And we spend hundreds of thousands of dollars every year with these Band-Aid solutions, not working or caring for these people. And I just don't understand why. You know, like Cecil Phaser again, there's another beautiful piece of property. What are we doing? We're going to put 50 more male inmates in there. So where are we going to win? Extended Care Falconbridge was the best place, the hub of Northern Ontario's mental health and addictions. No, they sold that for student housing. Like, I don't understand. You know, and then you got Panoramic, who won't tear down the hospital, but they're starting on the Scotia Tower downtown. We're losing businesses. And the only thing growing, in my opinion, in Sudbury right now is the debt and the sunshine list. And that, you know, our sunshine list is so big, I can't understand why a ranger. And on that, if you have no more questions, I'm going to pass that over to Tom Price.
For sure. Just want to mention, as you're passing it over, there was a fire on Whitaker Street overnight, as well as, you know, in a vacant building. And that's something that happens as well, right? With the old hospital. Remember the tragedy that took place there with the death. And then there's the fires that happen in these homes that are vacant, you know, as the vulnerable populations kind of move out of the downtown core and go into other places. Then I think there's different dangers, vulnerabilities that take place, including what just happened on Whitaker.
Well, you're chasing their survival around.
Yeah.
And even us, we know that we'll do whatever we have to do to survive. And that's what they're doing right now. Like, you can't just nail them for homeless, because in that homeless is the addictions, is the mental health, is the criminals who were all released when COVID started. Like, the general population has to be shrunk. And like I said before, you got to take that pie and you got to divide it. Where mental health is one thing, addictions is the other, the homelessness is another, and the criminals are another. Yeah. Because I'm going to tell you, in 2000, the homeless, they were beautiful, fantastic people. Nobody could say nothing wrong. They were just down on their bad luck. Well, and again, now you don't know who you do. Yeah, now you don't know who you do.
No, it's true. Yeah. And they're all dispersed and kind of out of sight, out of mind. And I think it is to kind of clean up the downtown for the optics that it gives for people that are saying they don't want to go downtown. And so anything you build downtown, I'm not going to go see it. And so they want to clean up that perception kind of thing. And in doing that, like you said, it creates different situations and different harm. And that fire on Whitaker.
One other question, what I'd like, and I really wish our two counselors were on here today, but number one, the fire station downtown and the Samaritan Center where the soup kitchen and mission is located, they're saying that it won't be touched. So you're trying to tell me that they're going to build a $500 million arena downtown event center and have one corner of it as a Samaritan Center soup kitchen?
Well, I thought the same thing, Bob. I thought the exact same thing. Like, that just doesn't go, right? It doesn't go to have that. And they're saying it's not going to be moved and everything's going to be fine. But in my mind, I'm like, well, that can't actually happen, I don't think. I can't see the two going together. I've never seen an event center with part of a corner being a soup kitchen before in my life. But maybe Sudbury will be the first one to do it. Who knows? Maybe we're that innovative. We are very creative here, apparently. One of the most innovative, you know, forward-thinking communities there are, according to them.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, you know, we can bang our heads against the wall so many times, and to get a response from a councillor or the mayor, you must well do somersaults all the way down there.
So I hope I hope when you're out there getting information or whatever, and the next time you're on the show, maybe share some of the stories with us that you have so far. Maybe don't wait until you get everybody you possibly can, but as you get these stories, maybe just be great for people to hear them.
Okay, yeah, I will. And just to make a quick remark, CTV showed the colored guy losing all his fingertips 2 weeks ago on the news. I had that guy in my van 4 years ago when that actually happened, and they were just freezing all over the street. And we're in August there next week, and you watch this year, nothing's going to change. And here's Tom.
Okay, thanks, Bob. Appreciate it. And good morning, Tom. Thanks for being on. Much appreciated. I just got your newsletter here, and I was looking at it, and it's a report, and maybe we could talk a little bit about that. Thanks for being on again, Tom.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having us. Just before we leave Bob's topic, it's almost eerie that they failed on 7 counts on the homeless situation, and they also failed on 7 counts on the event center, and it's now grown to 8 because we now have determined that there is no need for a new event center. Okay? No need whatsoever. So they failed on 8 counts on the event center. So they're consistent. They're failing on everything. Anyhow,
Well,
your question.
that's positive at least. Consistency is positive, right? If you're going to do something, do it well.
Yep.
So this new report that you just sent out is as part of your newsletter. Well, no, it's just a report that you sent out to your email list, and it's called "The Impact of Professional Sports Franchises on Venues and Local Economies: A Comprehensive Survey." And I believe it's from a Forum Journal of Economic Surveys. And where did you find this? And what, if you wanted to let everyone know what it entails, because we won't have time to go through the whole thing right now. I just looked at it as Bob was speaking. So can you give us a bit of a summary?
Yeah, it's not new. It's been available since 2022.
Oh my, okay.
Yeah, and that's on the cover sheet that is on the internet. The report is a group of economists. They examined 170 different projects to see whether those really were of an economic benefit to the community. And going through it is an excellent report, okay, to start with. They examine everything that our people talk about as being pluses. Oh, well, it's going to cost us money, but think of the benefits it'll be to the overall community. And think of what it'll do to your downtown revitalization. So they examined all of those in detail, and they did a great job of it. But when you read it and go through it, you're going to say, what on earth are we trying to do? Because they very soundly, as a group of economists, indicate that there is no perceivable benefit from sports venues, whether it's professional at the NHL level or at the OHL level. There is no benefit to the community that can offset the huge cost to the community. So this is a group, there's 3 universities involved in putting out that paper, but then there's 174 reports referenced in the reference section of the report. It's been done over 30 years. They've examined things like OHL venues, CFL venues, basketball venues, and the same thing holds true on all of them. And in fact, they even have documented where professional sports leaving cities has resulted in an improvement in economic conditions.
Oh, you're kidding. Wow.
No, I'm not. So doesn't anybody read in this city?
No.
I know everybody can't find stuff on the internet, and that's fine. But I have issued previous reports to everybody. Nobody reads them. They don't care. They've got their mind set on, oh, we got a fancy new arena. Well, so what? That's going to cost you for the next 30 years. And the cost for the next 30 years is going to be $15 million a year in your taxes every year for those 30 years. And what's going to be the benefit of that? Well, these guys measure the benefit, and there isn't any. It's a net loss to the community. The latest thing that I've heard is that they're now considering the casino again. The gold standard of net negative trade, balance of trade. You send them your money and you get nothing. Oh, they gave us back 2.4 million this year. Okay, how much did they take away? Well, if we get 5% of the take, they took away close to $90 million out of this community, but we got 2 million back.
And why don't they ever publish that in the stories? Like I usually see the headlines of, oh, the latest installment from the OLG Sudbury is, like you said, $2.4 million. That's the headline, right? So everyone's like, oh, good. That's good. So we're getting money from this casino. That's what the journalists leave you thinking.
Really made you feel good, didn't it?
Oh, for sure.
Now, when I told you that it cost us 90 million to get that 2.4, not so good anymore.
Yeah, so the headline should say we only spent $90 million to get 2.4 or whatever that is $1 million, right? That should be the real headline.
Yeah. And that they don't mention the fact, like in the arena report, they went on big about the net benefit to the GDP, the gross domestic product. Well, how did that 90 million going out of the city for no return, how did that affect our GDP? Well, it depressed it. Because when you take wealth out of a community and no increase in productivity, it's a net negative on GDP. Now, I've had people comment in the newspaper that I don't know what I'm talking about, that these event centers do a lot for a city. Well, those people obviously have not read the report that I sent to you this morning. That's why I went in and copied out the whole report and sent it to you, and I will be distributing that whole report with my newsletter this week.
Okay, so I jumped the gun because, again, I thought you had sent this to everyone, but you just sent it ahead of the show this morning just to kind of give me, send it to me so I could have a look at it. And I am going to read it because it looks like it's pretty comprehensive. It's quite a few pages and looks like they've put a lot of work into this. And how many people did you say? How many event center? 170 or so?
Yes. It's on the front cover of the thing, which unfortunately the abstract has it in it, the very front page.
Okay.
The 170 cases over a 30-year period.
Yeah, and the just to give everyone a real quick overview of this here, it just says local governments routinely subsidize sports stadiums and arenas using the justification that hosting professional franchises produces economic development and social benefits to the community. The prevalence of venue subsidies generated an extensive and vibrant research literature which spans over 30 years and includes more than 130 studies. We chronicle this body of research from early studies of tangible economic impacts in metropolitan areas using basic empirical methods through recent analysis and focus on sublocal and non-pecuniary effects and employ more sophisticated empirical methods. Though findings have become more nuanced, recent analysis continue to confirm that the decades-old consensus of very limited economic impacts of professional teams and stadiums, sports teams and stadiums, even with the added non-pecuniary, am I saying that word correct?
Yes, you are.
Social benefits of quality of life, externalities, and civic pride. So basically people are like, yes, we got a new arena. Oh, good. We got the sports team. And there is, I think you can't quantify that effect of community pride or being at an event where everybody is having a great time and stuff. So that is an aspect, but that's usually what's always put out there. But these are economists. These are people who are just looking at the bottom line, if it's positive or negative on a community, right?
In the report, they do quantify those.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Okay, and they're negative.
And it's negative as well.
Yes.
Yeah, we also investigate the paradox of local governments continuing to subsidize sports facilities despite overwhelming evidence that they're economic impotence. Our analysis informs academic researchers and policymakers to motivate future studies and promote sound policy decisions guided by relevant research findings. Interesting. So I'm very much looking forward to reading this.
Well, it will be going out to all of our OTOCI members later today, the full report, which is what you have. And
That's
at the
awesome.
back of that, you'll find 174 references to other reports.
Yeah, so if people are saying, well, this is garbage, this is an academic research paper, right? So they cite all of the other sources that they got this information from. So for the astute person who wants to look at this with a fine-tooth comb, it's got everything that you need to, if you're really interested and really want to know what the research is on this particular topic. It looks like this report is pretty substantial.
Yes, it is.
Great.
And I
Yeah.
should have sent it out earlier. I apologize for delaying.
No, that's fine. No, that's totally fine. I'm glad that I have it. I'm going to read it now too. And so again, even with that, there could be some people who says, okay, I don't even mind all the facts. I don't care. That new arena is just going to be amazing. It's just going to, and I'm included in this. I'm letting you know. I've always been like, I go over that bridge and I see our downtown and wow, a beautiful brand new arena would look so nice right there and just beautify the city and just kind of enhance the downtown. And I'd have so much pride coming over that bridge, seeing that building there. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people are in the same boat.
Well, one of the factors that you'll find in that report is that to get that nice feeling and that nice look in the downtown means that the outlying areas have depreciated. And they have statistics and analyses that demonstrate that. Okay. And it's a well done report. I don't know where our counselors, and I was going to ask the two counselors this morning if they had come on, where they're getting their data from. Because I have several of those types of reports that I've downloaded from the internet, and they are all accredited, they're all peer reviewed, they are all substantiated. So where are they getting their information that this is going to be such a boon in our city?
And that would be great. And just to let you know, Mike had said that he's willing to come on in September when I guess they're going to have more information, is what he said. There's going to be specific reports that he's going to have in September that he doesn't have now that are going to clarify financial positions of the city, I guess. I'm not sure. So he said in September he has no problem. Now, Natalie said she's not comfortable coming on the show because she feels that some of our audience might be a little too rough around the edges with their questions or something kind of thing. She may be too prickly. I don't know. I don't feel that our audience is that way. I feel that they're very respectful, and sure, the odd person might have some emotions in that, but that's what comes along with city politics. I mean, people, this is their city, right? And so they feel, if you're representing things, we should be open to receiving that criticism and whatever. But anyway, so that's what's happening here. So Mike said he's okay to come on in September. He's more than willing to have a discussion then. And I just think we should just always have the conversation going no matter what, and just come on in a moment's notice and just be able to have this conversation. Because if you have certain facts, you should be able to feel comfortable, articulating them.
Well, I would ask both of them a very simple question. They don't want to talk to us about it. but they had no trouble in approving the borrowing of $235 million at an interest cost of $168 million for something without an estimate, which Mr. Chakouty stated its Class D estimate has not been prepared yet, without any justification. They have no reference projects from anywhere that indicate these types of projects are good. But they went ahead and approved $235 million of borrowing. Based on what? What did they use to justify that? And I would challenge both of them. When you come on this program to defend with your numbers, tell me where they charged the infrastructure improvements around the arena to, the event center, that they're doing right now. Where's that being charged to? And don't tell me that that was required because of normal infrastructure improvements. It's being done, and they've stated that it's being done to service the event center. Well, if it's being done to service the event center, it becomes part of the event center cost. Who are they trying to fool? A bunch of dumb taxpayers? Stupid taxpayers? Well, we're not stupid. And we're not dumb. We know where the money goes. We know where it comes from. It comes from our pockets. And they make up these stories. The delay till September, as I indicated in a previous show, that's solely to find places to hide the overruns that they did not include in the 200 million. That's all it's for.
And we just hired it.
If they were able to borrow 235 million, they must know. Or else why did they borrow it? Sorry, little rant.
Oh, no, it's fine. Totally fine. But we just hired a new CFO, was the CFO for North Bay, and she starts September 15th. So wouldn't she be, a huge part of all of what we're talking about right now?
Well, I don't know how long she's going to last. She has experience in asset management planning. And when she sees the lack of it here, total lack of it, there's going to be a conflict between her and the new CAO. So is she going to compromise, or is the CAO going to compromise and say, yeah, we've got to fix our infrastructure first? Now, a good CFO would insist that that infrastructure needs to be maintained first, that you do not defer preventative maintenance, because that's her training in asset management if she is on or true to her training. So we'll see what happens, but I can see more toxicity. In fact, I can see her not lasting very long.
That's interesting because
I wish she would.
Because the story that her name was kind of the fact that they were announcing her, and then they were saying that she also denounced the mayor of North Bay with the fact that he was kind of spending on his own personal, things and charging it to the city, and she took exception to that and asked that particular practice stop, and she was public with that, right? So that to me is a small thing compared to what we're talking about. That's like tens of thousands, and we're talking about hundreds of millions in this case.
You got it right. So we'll see what she does. I hope she is true to her training. I sincerely do, and I wish her all the best. But the comments by our new CAO that she was prepared to adjust infrastructure repairs and she was prepared to consider adjusting preventative maintenance are not good signs. You do not sacrifice preventative maintenance.
And what we're talking about is basic infrastructure of the city. We're talking about sewers and water lines and roads and bridges and things like this, like that are safety in terms of that could totally cripple a city if we don't keep these things up. And
Yep.
They're kind of putting a back seat to those types of things to upkeep our infrastructure to go ahead with the legacy projects kind of thing. So yeah, it will be interesting. Get your popcorn and get a good seat because it's definitely going to be an interesting, and we're going into an election year too. So there's that. So this is even more interesting. anyways, it makes for a good show. That's all I got to say. And at least it's, it's not boring. I'll put it that way.
No. Well, we have a new presentation that we're going to be going on the road with, a road show. We're going to be going to every small community around Sudbury and letting them know in detail what the city has done to our city. Okay. I'm not sure of a start date on that yet. We haven't organized the meetings yet, but we will hold a town hall meeting in every small community around the city and say, okay, here's what they've done for this event center and the library and the cultural hub. And this is all just nonsense. It's to suit somebody's whims. And I was asked the other day, somebody called our mayor Paulie. And I said, well, how are you spelling that? Is it Paulie or is it Polly, short for Pollyanna? And they said, well, could be either. So
Okay. Now we're going to have to leave it at that just because we're out of time. But I appreciate you, Tom, as usual, being on. And I'm grateful for the report that you sent because I'm going to read it now. And it's got all kinds of information on the impact of these kind of projects to do with venues, sports franchises in cities like ours. And so it's good to be up and up on the facts, and that's what the report should entail. And it has all the references and stuff, so I'll look at those as well. And we'll look forward to having possibly a couple counselors on to have this conversation be a two-way one rather than just one. You had something to say, Bob, as we're signing out?
No, just thank you, everybody, and thank you. And
Okay.
people, please open your eyes, put on your seatbelt. We're in for a real rough ride. And this was the truth, and this is the facts. Thank you.
And thanks, guys, for being on again. Thanks, everyone, for commenting. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll be back same time, same place on the same platforms, God willing, tomorrow. Stay tuned now for Earshot Daily on CKLU 96.7 FM. Remember to stay aware, like, share, take care. Ciao for now.
This is Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.